Guys, it's Miss D, except I'm behind the camera. See, that's where I would be sitting. Today we're going to look at some more fraction problems like you did, but we're going to look at ones that don't always have a common denominator. But let's start by reviewing what we did yesterday. Remember to pause this video so that you can copy everything I have. So fractions follow the same rules as whole numbers and decimals if they have a common denominator. Those are all the problems we did yesterday. Remember, if I have positive and we build it with the blocks, it shows that I'm adding them together. If I have negative and I build it with the blocks, I'm also adding it together, but it's negative. And if I have negative and positive, that's when I have blocks on both sides and I have to pull out the opposites. So therefore, I'm going to subtract. So that was our review from yesterday. Let's look at today. What do I do if I don't have a common denominator? And this is where people freak out because they think it's hard, but guess what? If you know how to count, you can do this. So notice that my denominator here is a 2 and this one's a 3. I can't do anything with this written in this way. So, oh dear, shaking my camera. You'll forgive me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to count by 2s. You ready? 2, 4, 6. Now I'm going to count by 3s. I'm trying to write behind a camera. I'm doing a good job. 3, 6, 9. Do you see one that they have in common? I do. They have this one the same. That means I'm going to make my denominator a 6. So let's rewrite it over here. Instead of 1/2, I'm going to make it have a denominator of 6. Instead of 1/3, I'm going to have it be a denominator of 6. And you're like, Miss D, how do I know how to change this? Look where you counted. How many times did it take you on this row to get to a 6? 1, 2, 3. That's why we're going to multiply by 3 here. 2 times 3 is 6. And whatever I do to the bottom, the denominator, I'm going to do to the top, which is the numerator. 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, now let's do the same thing with the 3. Guess what? This one only took me 2 times to get there. So I'm going to multiply this one by 2, and whatever I do to the denominator, I'm going to do to the numerator. 1 times 2 is 2. Now I have a whole new problem. 3 6 plus 2 6, and it looks just like yesterday. And my answer is 5 6. Pretty simple, guys. All you have to do is know how to count. So let's see if you can do this one. Notice that this one, ooh, there we are, has a denominator of 3. This one has a denominator of 9. So I'm going to count by 3s. 3, 6, 9. I'm going to count by 9s. 9, and if you don't know what comes next, count up. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oops, 18 is the next one. I already see one in common, so I don't have to go any further. I'm going to circle that. So now let's rewrite our fractions. Instead of 2/3, we're going to change it to be ninths. Instead, oh, look at that. 3/9 already has it. I don't have to change it. Yes, less work. So here we go. 2/3, let's count. 1, 2, 3. It took me 3 times. I'm going to multiply by 3 to the denominator and the numerator. 2 times 3 is 6. So now, guys, we have a whole new problem. 6/9 plus 3/9. Oh, look, I'm losing my page. Man, I need like a cameraman here. Gives me 9/9. 9/9. There's another way I can write that. Do you know how I can write that? I'll give you a second to think. Oh, duh. That means 1 whole, because I have all 9 pieces out of 9. All right, guys, we only have one other thing to look at. Mind blown. Here we go. What if I give you a mixed number? Well, couple things. It's easier if we change it to an improper fraction. So, there's a couple ways I could show you. I think I'm going to draw a picture first. This one says I have 2 whole candy bars and I have a half. I'm going to color it in. I'm going to split them all into halves so you can see it. That's 2 1/2. How many pieces is that? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can rewrite that fraction to be 5 pieces, and so it's called 5 halves because each candy bar was broken into halves. Now let's look at the next number though. It's 1 1/3. I'm not going to break that into 2 pieces. I'm going to break that into 3 pieces. Let's draw that one. Squiggly line, I'll draw it down here for you. Here's my 1 whole candy bar. I'm going to color it in so you can see one whole. I broke it into 3 pieces because that's my denominator. Then it says I have one more piece. Let's count that up. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4/3. Now, if you hate drawing, I'm going to come over to the side. You can write this on the side. Here's how you can change it using the same idea. 2.5. You might remember this from 6th grade. We're going to multiply the denominator times the wholes because there's 2 pieces in every candy bar. So 2 times 2 is 4. Then we're going to add the extra piece in, plus 1. So we get 5/2. Keep your denominator the same. Let's do 1 1/3. 3 times 1 is 3, plus the 1 on top gives me 4/3, okay? So guys, you can use the picture, you can use the little method over here, it's the same thing. Now, let's write the problem. 5/2 plus 4/3. Oh crap, I can't do this because they don't have the same denominator. But we know how to change it. In fact, if you look here, we don't even have to write the work again. Isn't this the same thing we just did over here? So we know the common denominator is 6 because we counted by 2s, we counted by 3s. So here we go. 5/2, I have to change to 6. Let's look back up here. How many times did it take me? 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to times 3 times 3. Now here's the tricky part. 2 times 3 is 6 on my denominator. I have to do the numerator. You can't just not multiply it. So 5 times 3, count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, gives me 15/6. You with me? Now let's do the 4/3. Oops, I forgot my equal sign, guys. You didn't even catch me. 4/3 equals blank 6. So let's look up at our previous work so we didn't have to write it twice. 1, 2. So I'm going to times by 2, times by 2. 3 times 2 is 6. It works. 4 times 2 is 8. Now, it says I'm adding. So let's add these up. 15 plus 8. So that's going to give me 23. If you have to count it on your fingers, count it on your fingers. Do what you got to do. So I'm getting 23/6, which is improper. To make it back to the mixed number, if they ask you, just count by 6s and see how many go in 23. So I'm going to make my little list here. Ready? 6, 12, 18, 24. Oops, 24 is too big. So that means this is 3 wholes. And now let's count from 18 to 23. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 3 and 5, 6. This will be my final answer. Woo! Oh my gosh, this is a lot. Are you ready for another one? Okay, so this one, oh man. All right, so let's change it using our math way because I don't have room for a picture. If you want to draw a picture, draw one. So let's take 10 and 2/3. We're going to times the denominator and the whole, and we're going to add the top, the numerator. Make sure I use the right math vocabulary, guys. 3 times 10 is 30, plus 2 is 32. Keep your denominator. Now let's do 4 and 1/5. We're going to multiply times the whole, add the numerator. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21. Out of 5. Crap, can't add them. They're different denominators. Look at that. So that's easy though. I'm going to come up here and count by 3s. 3, 6, 9. Still don't see anything with a 5. I better keep going. 12, 15. All right, let's go here. 5, 10. Ah, yes, 15. So guys, I'm going to the 15. You with me? So let's change this so it's out of 15. And let's change this one so it's out of 15. All right. You're like, Ms. D, I don't know how many 3s it takes to get to 15. Go back to your work. That's why it's important to write this down. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to times by 5. 32 times 5. Yowza, that's a big number. I don't know if I can do that in my head, guys. So let's come, if you can't do it in your head, oh yeah, I can do that one in my head. But if you can't, come over here to the side of your paper. See, the side is your friend. 32 times 5. You know what else you could do? If you have no idea how to multiply it, you could add 32 up 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I know that 2 times 5 is 10. Put my 0 down. Carry the 1. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 1 on top is 16. I know that that's 160. I'm going to come back over here. I can't write. There we go, guys. 160. Now let's do this one. This is a 5. Let's count. 1, 2, 3. Took me 3 times. So I got to multiply that times the denominator or numerator. Now, again, if you don't know 21 times 3, come over to the side and do 21 times 3, or add 21 up 3 times. 21 plus 21 plus 21. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Pretty simple. Come back over. Boop. 63. Now, we just have to add these, right? Guess what I'm going to do to add these because they're both positive. I'm going to take 160. This video is taking forever. Got to hurry up. 160 plus 63 off to the side. 0 plus 3 is 3. 6 plus 6 is 12. Put the 2 down, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. I've got 223 out of 15. And guys, to save time, I'm not going to make us change it back to a mixed number because I'm running out of time. You can count by 15s and see how many it is. You can divide it out. It's up to you. But for now, I'm leaving it like this so we can hurry up and be done. All right. So you're like, oh, Miss D, oh my gosh. Guess what? These fractions are negative. So if I have a negative plus a negative, remember, I'm going to add these at the end, and it's going to be negative. Now, I've already done this problem. Here it is. I'm not going to do all that work again. It's right here. We know that 1/2 is 3/6. 1/3 is 2/6. So I'm just going to rewrite the problem, okay, as negative 3/6 plus a negative 2/6, and it should be the same answer, 5/6, but it's negative. If I was building it, I would have 5 blocks on the negative side. Let's look here. 2/3 and 3/9. Hey, Miss D was smart. It's the exact same problem, so I don't have to go through all those steps again. I know that 2/3 equals 6/9, and I know that 3/9 I don't have to change. But here's the important part. 1 is negative, 1 is positive. So I'm going to subtract. Okay? That's what you got to remember. So I know that negative 2/3 is the same thing as negative 6/9. And then we have a 3/9. And when I take 6, take away 3, I get 3/9. But I have to look. Sorry guys. The positives would have 3 blocks. The negatives would have 6 blocks. The negatives have more. So my answer is negative. All right, if you are finished the video, let me see if I can zoom out here, if it'll focus. There we go. And you have everything written down. That's a lot of stuff, guys. Everything written down. Then you can stop the video and you can get up out of your seat and use the back of this paper to do your stations. Remember that I have an answer key for you to check your work and that you can get help from me or whoever else is in the room. If you're like, holy crap, Miss D, I missed some of this stuff, then start the video over. And don't forget to pause it so that you can see what you're doing. Peace out. See you later.